Hello there, Pisces, and welcome to your monthly forecast. I hope that your month is getting off to a really great start, and I want to thank you for allowing me to read for you this month as well. If you're brand new, let me just explain how this is organized. I start off with some channeled information, move along to a general forecast, and then I expand it to look at the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. Also, if you know your sun, rising, and moon sign, you can use my forecast for all of those. Otherwise, just stick with your birth month, your sun sign, and that should give you the most accurate forecast. All right, let's get into the channeled information. For those of you that are new as well, I want to tell you how I get to that. Every month I meditate on the sign before I begin, and as I do that, I receive some information, either in the way of images, sounds, or words. This month, this is what came through for you. I want you to try not to get overwhelmed by what's on your to-do list, what's on your plate. I want you to try to take things one step at a time. Just imagine that you're eating a really good meal and you're going to take small bites and make each moment count. That's really what I want you to do this month. Sometimes we get so caught up in where we're headed, what we have to do, that we lose track of the fact that right now, right here, this is what matters. So that's your channeled information for this month. Now let's get into the reading and see what the cards have to say. At this point, I usually remain quiet as I like to also look at the cards and their positions. So we'll resume the reading in just a second. Let's see what's going on here. I also pull one extra card called a catalyst, and this catalyst card will tie together everything that we're seeing it, and it also allows for you to figure out how to best utilize the energy of the month ahead. So we have Priestess of Wands. What I like about this card is it's really speaking to your ability to run and manage your own life. There's an element of magic to it whenever I see the Priestess of Wands. If you look at a traditional Queen of Wands, she's in a desert and there's flowers growing around her. That shows me that typically she can make something happen from limited resources. So even if you're feeling pulled a little bit thin, whatever in regards to your sleep, your energy, your money, or how many people you have supporting you, that catalyst card is showing me that you can figure it out this month. Additionally, we have the Princess of Wands here in the outcome. The fact that we have two of the same suit and two cards showing predominantly feminine energy coming through is telling me that this is a very fertile month. There's some great opportunities for growth, for expansion, particularly when it comes to ideas and projects. So I feel like this is really fantastic for those of you that are independently employed. You may have almost more than you need this month coming through and you want to protect yourself so that you don't get overwhelmed. But for those of you that are either like in a regular job or just trying to learn, there's a great wealth of opportunity that's coming your way. So embrace that. I'm going to turn the camera down for a moment so you can see how all of the cards are relating to that catalyst. One thing that struck me as I was looking at this was the sort of contrast between being stuck and then having movement and growth. And then all of the seniority that's coming through on these cards. We got a lot of personalities. We'll start with the center card, the Hierophant in reverse. For many of you, this indicates a time and a season for things to change. And usually the Hierophant upright is about having structure, very organized structure that's difficult to break through. The reversal of this is showing that, at least in respect to everything else here, that it's time to either challenge the status quo. Some of you might be involved with social justice, with trying to change how your company works or how people view certain policies. So I see this as a change month for you, and that you could have a very important voice and role in those changes. In fact, we have the Emperor card right over top of this. So some of you are getting into a position where you might be in a place of power, or you might be able to affect that person's point of view and, again, change or shift perspectives. So I think that's a really great central card and crossing card. As we look at your deep past here, we have the King of Cups. And what I'm seeing that I think is fueling all of this from the past few months is many of you have been following a passion project, or some of you have even found love. I see passion playing a big role in how you got to this month and what's kicking off this month. I want you to continue to ride that feeling of exhilaration and motivation, because for many of you, that could end up being a love relationship. It could also open up new opportunities and partnerships at work. You could meet new friends. So continue to do things that you love and things that are important to you, because other people are going to be attracted to that sense of joy, of purpose in your life. Now, this isn't all roses this month, though. As we look at what's coming in right at the beginning of the month, there may be a significant and a surprising loss that happens in your life. This could be possibly someone in a position of power or authority that is let go, because whenever I see 10 of Swords, there's a surprise element to it. There's a disappointment that comes with this. So there could be someone that you care about that steps away, or hopefully not, but they could be passing away as well. If that's the case, then it feels like there was a lot of pain and frustration attached to this, and there may be some sort of a sense of relief once this happens. And that's okay. Don't feel bad if you feel that, because sometimes when there's that much tension, stress, or sadness, you kind of want to see whoever that is move into the next situation, whether they're living or they've passed. It's sort of like, I want them to be in less pain than they're in. The other thing is, this could indicate changes going on in your life, an upset going on in your life. With regard to your health, this means that you need to take special care with not overexerting yourself. You can sometimes get the flu or a cold when this card comes through. It also is about chronic pain in the joints, in the lower back. And what you want to do if that's the case is really make sure, of course, that you get the attention that you need, but also that you're sleeping enough, and that if you're legitimately sick, you want to take a sick day, or else it could get a little bit worse. So it's important to very much listen to your body and not to push yourself to a point of exhaustion. One thing that I'm seeing overall this month is you want to be very focused on positive communication. When I have the King of Swords here in reverse in the crowning situation, that's showing that words that you speak could be misconstrued if you're not careful. Likewise, if you're in a position where you're receiving a lot of negative feedback, you're going to want to filter out what doesn't make sense, or what is just being personal, but there's no constructive element to it. Because if you don't, there is a potential for an argument to ensue. So pick and choose battles accordingly, knowing that if you're going to fight, this could be a very serious fight. But on the bright side, what I see towards the middle of the month is this sort of growth and happiness when it comes to partnerships. In fact, your soul card this month is the Star. When you pair up the Two of Cups and the Star card, this means that love is taking sort of center stage for some of you this month. That means that you could be meeting a significant love interest or best friend, or someone that you haven't seen for a long time, and it's kind of lighting up your soul, lighting up your life. For those of you that are single and happily single, or single and looking, these cards indicate that you really want to get out in the public as much as possible this month, because even if you're more business oriented, the Star card is showing that you could generate business by being seen. So whether it's on television, in the newspaper, and social media, I want you really to feel like you're the star of the show when it comes to your business or your agenda. As I said, many of you might be trying to change policy, or might be involved in politics or something like that. This is a good month for you, because you're going to have a lot of opportunities to meet people, possibly meet people that could help you with whatever you're trying to accomplish. When I'm looking at the environment, I do feel like some of you are maybe unhappy at the speed with which you're moving. Remember the channeled information. I use this metaphor a lot, but it's sort of like trying to eat a sandwich. If you put the whole thing in your mouth, you're just going to choke. But if you take little bites, you can enjoy it, you can appreciate it. I want you to do the same thing with progression on your career path. You don't want to sort of like take a leap and a bound all at once. You need to go through each step. If something doesn't feel good, it may be time to step away from it if there's something that's toxic. Because I feel like there's something better around the horizon for you. And if you've been laid off, made redundant, etc., know that, again, that also feels like it's a positive shift. Not going through it, of course, but what's coming through in its wake. As I'm looking at what's attached to the Hangman, some of you who are part of a bigger corporation or small business, I do feel like some of you want to step out on your own. We have the Empress card in reverse, and she normally is attached to entrepreneur activities and entrepreneurial ideas. So don't be afraid to kind of like take that a little further if you'd like. It does feel like there's some work that needs to be done because we see the Princess of Wands here. So this is something that you would want to shop around and talk to people about, but I do see that as a possibility. As an outcome card and an aspect of your personality, this is showing that you're going to have that sense of being in control and on top of things, hopefully for the entirety of the month. But the only thing that I see when I get too many wands is just a general warning or encouragement for you to stay as open as you can, to talk to as many people as you can, and to make sure that you're not putting too much authority out there. Because we have that Empress card, the Emperor card, and the Hierophant. That's a lot of control. So if there's things that you care about this month, just share responsibilities and make sure that you're not the only boss. If you are the only boss in the company, make sure that you come across being an empathetic one and one that listens and cares. For those of you that are feeling a little frustrated here, I do see a lot of big personalities in your life. It might be appropriate, especially if there's a love relationship, to just focus on spending some time together, to try to pair out the family. Because when I see Emperor and Empress, it's mom and dad. And so if you're just trying to get to know someone, it might be too soon or too overwhelming to get the parents involved too soon. Some of you, this could be an arranged situation, and only do it if it makes sense. What's most important this month is to follow your heart. The Star card is showing me that at least one situation that pops up this month feels really exciting and connects you to your higher purpose. Let's go ahead now and expand the forecast, beginning with the health card. Health, of course, includes mind, body, and spirit. Your message for health this month is what I was just talking about, following your heart, but also listening to your heart. Is it healthy? Is it okay? Because we're focusing on health areas here. So I want you to pay special attention to cardiovascular activities, how you feel doing those, and if you haven't had an appointment in a while, make an appointment with a doctor. But the bigger part of this, the emotional, the spiritual side of this, is to do what makes you happy. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning. As long as you are in that flow of creativity, of passion, that energy will sustain you this month. That's what's going to enable this beautiful Priestess and Princess of Wands card to really create opportunity within your life. Now let's look at your wealth card. Wealth being opportunities in money, in work, and in school. Your wealth card this month is what I would normally associate with a Queen of Coins or a Queen of Pentacles. We have a woman holding a coin. So what I'm seeing with this is that money is within reach, opportunity is within reach for you. I didn't get a lot of resources here, and that might be what's holding some of you up, because normally a lack of it shows me either an absence or not enough attention on it. So what I'm going to say when it comes to your wealth this month is don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to speak up if you feel like you're not receiving what you should. If you're a business and your clients haven't paid, reach out, invoice them and say, hey, it's time, you're overdue. This is about taking care of money and your money in particular. So again, I saw a lack of it in the cards, not a single pentacle, not a single coin. So I want you to put more emphasis on it this month. Sit down and make a budget. See if you're okay. Just make sure that everything is adding up. As we look at love, which includes all types of relationships in your life, let's see what the central message is. So we have Voyage of the Heart, and it basically says love flows through you and to you. And again, this is an expression of what we saw here with the King of Cups here. So I want you to do things that you love. It will attract people who love you for what you are and who you want to be, not sort of a projection of what you think they want. It's basically be in your passion and people will fall in love with that. The other thing here for some of you, looking at all of this sort of cup energy here, there may be for some of you a water sign that you're dealing with from the past that feels like there's deep love attached to that. I see a little bit more negativity or animosity around an air sign. So the water sign seems like it's a good match. The air sign you might have to resolve some issues with. And when I'm looking at the fire sign, this is more towards the end of the month, and it reads to me opportunity. Looking now at your destiny card, this is showing you where you're headed, and if it makes sense, you stay on that path, and if it doesn't, you can adjust accordingly. Your destiny card this month is Ringmaster of Scrutiny, and the words here to kind of focus on are discernment, clear vision, and details. So in short, I really want you to focus on being what we saw with the Queen of Wands, which is in charge of everything. You are the one who signs the checks, you are the one that makes the decisions, and don't be afraid to be the boss, but like I said, make sure that there is some room for conversation. But it's all about the small details this month. So I think this has a lot to do with your work. And also, if people are looking to you for a vision, you have to have a lot of clarity and ability to explain that vision to them. That's going to be key to your success as well. Now, that is everything for this month. So let's summarize what we talked about, and then we'll wrap it up. Your channeled information this month was not to get overwhelmed by what's on your to-do list, what's on your plate. Take things one step at a time. Just imagine that you're eating a really big sandwich or a really big meal. You're going to take one bite at a time, and before you know it, it's done or it's gone. As we looked at your catalyst, we've talked about this at great length. Your power this month is in your ability to command a presence, to command a situation. Just remember not to be too bossy if possible. Speaking of bosses, there does feel like for some of you there could be a clash of wills. This is something that could end up in an argument, so you want to be careful. We're looking at the Empress, the Emperor, a King of Swords in reverse, and the Ten of Swords. For me, that reads potential conflict. In the wake of this, or in addition to this, I'm actually seeing, for some of you, love blooming. And we have the Star card and the Two of Cups also attached to the King of Cups here. So I think that there's a great potential for love, but there might be some other situations that pull you away from that. If you do have love in your life, whether it's new love or an existing relationship, cherish that. Spend time with the loved one and try to get away. Try to enjoy some of the break or the downtime that may come through around the middle to the end of the month. I want you to continue to have plan B and a plan C. So if you're busy, always think of what the next thing is, particularly if you have your own company or your own business. Now, as we expand the forecast here, looking at health, paying attention to your cardiovascular health is important, but also back to what I talked about at the beginning, staying in the flow of love, of happiness, of passion, that's going to bring more to you in your life. When we look at your wealth card, just have a better handle on money situations this month. There's an absence of it here. There's a lot of focus on business. So your business may be successful, but I'm not seeing the money component as much. If you feel okay with it, just see if there's any places that there might be room for growth. When it comes to love, again, love flows through you and to you. Just know that if you're single and looking, that card usually shows that something's on its way. If you're single and happy, this card shows you that passion is all that really matters, and it flows all around you. You can use it in any way that you'd like. If you're married, what you put into your relationship, you get back. So just keep the love and the passion flowing, channel it into what makes sense. It will come back to you like a mirror. Finally, most importantly, I need you to keep an eye on all the details. That might be the money details for some of you. It also might just be speaking about what your vision is if you own a company or if you're a leader. So that brings your monthly reading to a close. I want to thank you for allowing me to read for you this month. If you ever need a little bit more advice than I can pack into one of these general readings, feel free to reach out to me. If you look right beneath the video, the first link there will allow you to check out rates and availability, so I'm here if you need me. The second link is a way to give back to this channel. If you like the meditations that I do, all the monthly readings that I do, feel free to also donate. Anything helps. As little as $1 really goes a long way in supplies and costs for production. I would also love for you to follow me on all the social media. So if you are on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and if you haven't already subscribed here, feel free to do that. The third link will point out all of those social network sites as well as my newsletter. So finally, and most importantly, I'd really like to thank everybody this month for all the work that you've been doing. Each month, I like to end with a sense of hope and a focus for all of us for the month ahead. I've been talking about how the little work that we do on ourselves really helps to light up the planet. And I mean that with all my heart and soul. I think that this month, if you could do something special for someone else, that could take this light a little bit further. Even for people that aren't working on themselves, you could touch their heart, you could make them wake up a little bit, and who knows what that could do for them. They may find their own way towards enlightenment. So do something, a random act of unconditional love and kindness this month. You could just say thank you, you could give someone a hug, you could smile, you could give them a gift. Whatever it is, do it out of the kindness of your heart with zero expectation on a return, and just see how that makes your life a little bit better, see how you feel, and pay attention and see, did it change them at all? So keep me posted on that, and thank you so much for the work that you continue to do. Again, it's my honor to be here, wishing you love, happiness, and abundance now and always. I'll see you again next month.